Weather coverage you can count on with Chief Meteorologist Kate McKenna and the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network.
Following the severe threat for you closely as we've gone through the past several hours, and I wanted to give you an update here on where we stand right now on the WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Early Warning Radar Network here in North Alabama. And you will see some shower activity, but that's about it. If you've stepped outside at any point this evening, you will feel how almost eerie it is outside. We've got that warm wind out of the south. Dew points are in the upper 60s, and the temperatures, they are in the 70s. I'll show you those current conditions in just a second, but suffice it to say the atmosphere is primed and ready for severe weather tonight. Now take a look here just off to the west, and I put a track on this for you. I showed this to you earlier, but we're about 160 miles away from the first broken line of storms, severe storms at that, heading our way. We still got a handful of tornado warnings right along the Mississippi River here, moving out of Arkansas, moving into Tennessee, and we've still got that tornado that's causing catastrophic damage up into Kentucky. So the severe thunderstorms, of course, they are heading our way. Watch the motion here as they're tracking eastward. I'm noticing that they're slowing a little bit, moving eastward about 30 miles per hour. The storms themselves are moving much faster within the line. And behind that initial edge here, we've got that cold front that's off to the west. Those are also bringing severe storms with it. So as we go through tonight, that's where we're watching. That's where all of my focus has been for the past several hours, watching those storms develop and then watching what is happening within our area. Unfortunately, it has been fairly quiet for the past few hours for the time being. And you'll see why this is the epicenter here of the risk from the Storm Prediction Center. This is that moderate risk, a 4 out of 5 on the scale, really focused from Memphis up to Paducah. That's where we've seen those strong tornadoes already. As for North Alabama, all of us are still included in that risk for severe weather. Our threat is highest along and west of I-65. I mentioned to you earlier as well, but here's another reminder for the tornado watches in effect. We are right on the edge here, the eastern edge of all of these tornado watches. This is going to last until 2 a.m. for our bordering counties, and I will let you know if watches are extended for any part of our area. Right now, no location within North Alabama is included in that tornado watch. And look at the temperatures. I told you we were in the 70s. We've actually been warming as we've gone past sunset. 74 degrees right now in Muscle Shoals, 69 in Guntersville, 72 in Huntsville, 71 in Decatur. Lots of cloud cover across the WAAY 31 Thompson Roofing and Construction Skycam network. Now let's go through future radar. You'll see that this data source is showing really nothing but shower activity for the time being. As we get closer to 2 a.m., here comes that broken line of storms knocking on our door in the shoals. And what happens here is the line behind it, that cold front, still tries to catch up to the leading edge. This is 4 a.m. Now we'll get to 6 a.m. and notice how they combine and start to look a little more intense as they're moving through the shoals. Timestamp again, 6 a.m., now to 7, now to 8 o'clock. Storms starting to move into Madison County, moving to Morgan County, moving through Lincoln County, and then tracking closer to Sand Mountain, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Past that point, there's 10 o'clock approaching DeKalb County, eastern Marshall County, and then moving away from North Alabama finally by noon tomorrow. All of that to say that I haven't really had to change the timeline for this forecast or the threats for this forecast. We are still expecting that risk for at least a strong tornado as a possibility, but tornadoes also embedded within this line of storms and moving through those spin-up tornadoes. The risk for high wind is there as well. That's one of the more concerning risks on a more widespread scale. And the risk for flooding, calling it a low risk at this point. But here's that timeline. One more time, familiarize yourself with this. Storms can arrive in the shoals as early as 3 o'clock tomorrow morning and then pushing eastward between 5 and 8 a.m. along the I-65 corridor, between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. farther towards the east. Our 7-day forecast shows that we are much quieter by the time we get into Sunday once this cold front rolls through. If we find ourselves in wall-to-wall coverage following these storms for you, if you happen to lose power, you lose that TV signal or your wireless device loses signal, you can always listen on the radio, 104.3 ZYP or any of the stations that you see here listed on your screen.